What a crazy month. Oh, we have some coffee here. Like this mug, you can also have this mug. This is my official Fragrance Bros mug. Link down in the merch tab below. You can go find it. Notes, top coffee, mid coffee, base coffee. I love this mug so much that sometimes I just pretend to drink out of it because there's literally nothing in here. Anyway, so it's been a crazy month. But as always, I'm always trying to keep this news segment alive. So I have a new idea. I'm going to continue with my news segment, but I'm going to split it into two parts. The first part is going to be my choices, my personal favorites from the latest news of the month. So all of these choices are new releases or announcements for the month of October. These are things that I desperately want to try. They really piqued my interest. The next video is going to be on the rest of the fragrances that were announced or released in the month of October, this month. And I know I say this every single time, but I'm going to try to do this every month. So stay tuned. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I have the news right here on my screen. Of course, as you can see, I'm in my bedroom. You see a new set every couple of weeks, apparently. Anyway, I'm getting my news from Fragrantica and Now Smell This, as always. So my first choice is Anthony Hopkins AH Eau de Parfum. This is really interesting. This is one fragrance that I really want to try, and I'm breaking my rule about not really trying celebrity fragrances. This is a little bit different. Of course, Anthony Hopkins, famous actor and director and producer. He made a fragrance, I'm not exactly sure who with, because I don't believe he actually made this. I'm sure he was more of a creative director in this, but it does look really interesting. It is a unisex fragrance from his fragrance line. Apparently he has a whole collection of home stuff for candles and stuff. But this is his first fragrance that he's releasing, named after him, AH. This is really cool. It's kind of based on some artwork that he has, really creepy artwork too, by the way. And on the front of the bottle, as you can see, there are 3 notes: bergamot, orange blossom, and musk. I think those are probably the main 3 notes. There are also other notes in here like orange, pink pepper, ginger, rose, jasmine, patchouli, and honey. From the note list, you can't always tell exactly how it's going to smell, but it looks like this will be a nice kind of softer citrus floral type thing that will be good for kind of unisex wear. I'm actually really interested in this. It looks like it could be good, so I'm really hoping for that. And I also really like Anthony Hopkins, so win-win. Another interesting thing about this fragrance is that the proceeds for this goes to a charity called No Kid Hungry, which provides up to 50 meals for kids that are affected by hunger, which I think is really great. And the price of this is going to be $75, which is insane. That's a really good value right there for 100 mil. So yeah, definitely check that one out. That's one that I'm excited for. Next fragrance. All right, next on the list is the 90th anniversary collection by Leggaleon. Apparently it was re-established in 2014, celebrates its 90th anniversary this year. So apparently it's a very old fragrance line. This is the first time that I have heard it, but this looks really cool. I really like their aesthetic of their art. I like how French it is. I love the nautical theme. A lot of things going on. So there are 9 fragrances that are re-released apparently, and a lot of these are based on individual notes. So I'm not sure if that's going to be kind of a photorealistic version of these, or if it's just going to be, you know, kind of just incorporating that note. Not sure. Of course, I'm probably pronouncing like all of these names wrong. So here's some of the notes for Esquive: Ambrette Absolute, vetiver oil, patchouli leather, musk, clean linen accord, cashmere, and pink peppercorns. Very interesting. Tillul has notes of lime blossom accord, honey, ambroxan, and musks. Lily of the Valley, starflower, charismal, rose, indol, ambroxan, amber tonic, symphonide. Those are a lot of molecules there, so we'll see how that is. Jasmine, however you say it. Eau de Brauts, Absolute, wild cyclamen, water splash accord, guinea orange, cumin, an overdose of Chinese jasmine sambac, ylang ylang, narcissus, Casablanca lily, patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, made absolute, plum. So that looks interesting and complex. Tulip, let's see, has notes of acacia flower, galbanum, tulip leaves, jasmine, ylang ylang, cananga, narcissus, iris, white musks, and white cedar. Broom has notes of bergamot, pineapple, raspberry, jasmine, orange blossom, rose, patchouli, cedar, musk, and vanilla. Barask has notes of night blooming jasmine, Italian citruses, ginger, cardamom, pepper, Bulgarian rose, osmanthus, wild strawberry, styrax, popanax, patchouli, petrichor accord, interesting, Hieracium, oak moss, Spanish cistus, and oak infusion. That looks really cool. I want to try that really bad. Chypra has notes of pink pepper CO2, rose oxide, jasmine, absolute, rose essence, vetiver, animalis base, patchouli, heart, and musk. And Champ de Mai has notes of apricot, rose, rosifolia, Givaudan exclusive apparently, Petalia, which is another Givaudan thing, and Broxen nymphial, another Givaudan thing, and Pomerose, another Givaudan thing. So that looks interesting as well. Overall, I think this line looks really cool. I know that was a lot of notes all at you at one time, but this line looks really great, and I desperately want to try this line. So yeah, really cool. But standout to me are Barask and Esquive. Those two look really interesting to me. I definitely want to try those two at least. Next is Sunforce by The Harmonist. Now, The Harmonist is a line that I'm just now getting acquainted with. They actually sent me Moon Glory right here, which is a really excellent kind of overly sweet, sticky amber fragrance that I'm going to mention in the future. And the reason I bring that up too is because Sunforce is kind of the paired fragrance for this line. So Moon Glory and Sunforce are part of what they call the prequel collection. They go together in a dyad. Really cool bottles too. I really love these kind of elixir looking bottles, but really terrible boxes, really bad box design. So I have some samples of the rest of the line that I want to talk about too, but Moon Glory and Sunforce go together. So Sunforce is going to be kind of the opposite of what Moon Glory is supposed to be, apparently. They have like this yin and yang type of theme, which is interesting. So notes in Sunforce are Hawaiian pomelo citrus, Bulgarian rose, saffron, cardamom, incense, organic honey, sandalwood, organic benzoin, musk, and vetiver. That sounds really good. Maybe I'll get to try that in the future, but yeah, stay tuned for this. And of course, I'm definitely going to try Sunforce whenever I can. All right, next is Bitter Peach by Tom Ford. Now, this one has been in the news for a little bit. I know some people have tried this. I haven't tried it yet, but this was announced pretty recently, I think in late September, and I think it was released in early October. And Bitter Peach is another one that is very fruity for Tom Ford. It's in their private blend line, like Lost Cherry, and this is a peach fragrance apparently. Notes in this are peach, blood orange, cardamom, heliotrope, divana, rum, cognac, jasmine, sandalwood, patchouli, vetiver, benzoin, tonka, vanilla, labdanum, cashmeran, and styrax. Now, I don't know if this is going to be good. Tom Ford has been on a kind of off season for a few years now with me, so I'm not really sure how it's going to be, but it's Tom Ford, and I have to try it. So we'll see how it is. I don't exactly have high expectations for it, but I do think that it's something that I want to try. Next is one by Parfums de Marly, and that is Pegasus Exclusif. Parfums de Marly is a great line. I love them a lot, and this is one that I have on the way, so stay tuned for that. This was announced back in September, late September, and I believe it was already released in October. So this one is already out, so you may have seen some people that have already talked about it or reviewed it. I am really interested in this. They like to release fragrances and then an exclusive version of the fragrances that are slightly different than the original and usually stronger. So very interested in this. Pegasus is an excellent lavender almond type of scent, very musky and powdery, really interesting, and I like it. Not my top tier for Parfums de Marly, but still really good and wearable. So since I have some on the way, expect a review of that coming shortly. I really want to see how this is different from the original one. Notes in this are pink pepper, bergamot, cardamom, heliotrope, jasmine, geranium, lavender, bitter almond, vanilla oud, sandalwood, guaiac, and amber. So definitely some of the same notes from the original Pegasus. I would love to see if this is darker or better or different in some way. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Next is a new line by Amouage, and this one is their Renaissance collection. 4 fragrances in the line. They say they're unisex fragrances. What I find interesting about these, 2 of them have the male bottles and 2 of them have the female bottles. So I think that is really interesting by itself. The 4 fragrances in this line are Ashore, Crimson Rocks, Enclave, and Meander. Ashore is a white floral fragrance that has notes of jasmine, ambergris, sandalwood, and other notes. Crimson Rocks is an intense rose fragrance that has rose, cinnamon, honey, oakwood, cedar, and some other notes. Enclave is a very green scent that has notes of spearmint, cardamom, amber, labdanum, cinnamon oil, and saffiano and vetiver. I'm not sure what saffiano is. Meander looks like it's going to be a smokier type of fragrance. It's going to have frankincense, smoky vetiver, cypriol, jonquil, sandalwood, carrot, orris, and other notes. So these look very interesting. I'm not a huge fan of Amouage in general. They sometimes are a little bit more artistic than wearable, I find, but I am actually very interested in trying these, especially the very green one. Which one was it? Enclave. Enclave sounds great. Next, just for lulz, is Avon Charmed, and this really surprised me. I actually saw this mentioned on Instagram by Clemence from Clemence Fragrances. She put this on here just because it has an amazing bottle, and it does. This is really, really cool. This is a limited time fragrance. Why is this Avon though? This doesn't seem like Avon at all. It has 18 karat gold apparently on the outside and 21 Swarovski crystals. They're only making 1,886 bottles of it, and the bottle looks incredible. Incredible. The size is unknown and the bottles are $1,200 each. Wow. To be honest, I don't even care what it smells like. I just want that bottle. It looks amazing. But the notes in here are neroli, lily of the valley, jasmine, and musk. So it might be good. I don't know. All right, and last for this video is 2 by Smellbent. That is Scaredy Cat and The Fall. Now these are really interesting because these were aged with ingredients that have been aged for 10 years. Apparently these are limited editions. They're aged with musk and incense that have been aged for 10 years. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Scaredy Cat says in a nutshell is smooth woods with notes of apple plum aged copal incense. That's the 10 years. And sweet woods with vintage red musk. Interesting. The Fall, in a nutshell, is smoky incense wood. Notes in this are aged copal incense, white oak, amber, and the scent of smoke in the fall air. Those sound great. Smellbent, really cool line. With that, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Fragrance X. Fragrance X is an online retailer that sells thousands of legitimate fragrances for a discounted price. If you're considering buying a fragrance, definitely check out Fragrance X. I'll have a link down below to them as well as a coupon. So that is all I have for my favorites from the news. What are your favorites from the news? What do you think of these fragrances? I think these are pretty cool. Are there any favorites that you have that I haven't mentioned? Stay tuned for my next video on the rest of the new fragrances. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I love you for it. And of course, don't forget your nice coffee mug. Bye.